What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome on back to Dragon Age Inquisition. As always, if you're new here or haven't yet, please do subscribe, leave a like and a comment, share it around if you end up enjoying the video, and of course, if you want to go ahead and catch up on previous episodes, in case this is the first one you find in the Let's Play, go ahead and check the description below. I'll have the whole series down there in a playlist, in order, of course, for you guys. Today's episode, we're going to hopefully finish off exploring Haven. I want to meet all the people that are worth meeting here and chat around. We got a couple side quests. We might be able to end up squeezing another level out here before we end up leaving. I think the last time I picked up a codex for some XP, we were approaching level 4. So, do we go into the chantry first, or do we want to? We'll do the outside first. How about that? We'll do the outside and chit chat to people. Inquisition requisitions. We have none available. We'll probably have to talk to Threnn, right?
No, my lord, I don't know where the other nobles are. I suggest you ask Ambassador Montillier. Oh, you're him. Threnn. Inquisition Quartermaster.
I are him.
I'm doing what I can to supply this mess. If you find what I need to fill one of my requisitions, I'd appreciate you bringing it in.
Well, what do they do?
What did you mean when you mentioned requisitions?
I'm making this Inquisition run with what we have, but we're not a real army. We're stretched thin on materials, so I've put up a requisition list for anything that could help our people. Here, take a look. You find some iron and a good logging site, maybe Varric can get our troops better weapons.
One of the cool things I like about Inquisition is you're not just worrying about yourself and your party. There's a background to this, which is the Inquisition itself, which, I mean, eventually the goal is to build that up into a military force capable of securing peace for Thedas again, right? So, you got a lot of background stuff to deal with. Right now, we're a bunch of ragtag farmers that need swords and shields, but eventually, some of this stuff gets pretty high stakes. Especially when you unlock the war table.
What do you do here?
I make sure the Inquisition troops have food in their bellies and iron in their hands. Both are important. Lots of people expecting us to be heroes, marching all day to fight the demons. Turns out heroes need to dig latrines just like everyone else.
Ain't that just a shame? A lot of the material textures in this are pretty good. You see like the velvet or the felt on the sleeve, stuff like that. The little shine detail in the leather.
How does someone end up as Quartermaster for the Inquisition?
I served for Eldon under Logain MacTier, best commanding officer this world has ever seen. After they all turned on him at Denerim, though, there wasn't much use for people who held that opinion. Queen Honora offered my services to the Inquisition. It was a kindness. She knew I supported her father and got me away from the political garbage.
Interesting, so she comes from Queen Honora. I mean, for as much as it's easy to jump to say fuck Logain, she's not wrong about his prowess. I mean, at the end of the day, he was a farmer and he managed to repel an Orlesian invasion and occupation, so... Like, Varric was obviously the face of that rebellion and ended up being the king of the rebellion, but, I mean, it's pretty apparent that Logain was the strategist behind all that, right? Certainly one of the best generals in Dragon Age universe history, if not the best.
With that attitude, I can't imagine how you made enemies in Denerim.
People just don't want to hear the truth. I was at Ostagar, and I know what really happened. King Cailan overextended his position, and the Grey Wardens were too late lighting the signal. Following the original plan would have gotten everyone killed. Logain made the right decision.
I disagree.
Sister Liliana told me I shouldn't talk about this. Just forget it.
Yeah, I was also at Ostagar in a past life, so we know that that's not true. Overextended his position? Maybe. There might be some slight truth to that. Lighting the signal fire too late? No. And honestly, maybe they would have all died if they charged. Maybe. It's a big battle against almost unlimited hordes of Darkspawn. But there's no archdemon, and Cailan and the Wardens only started losing when their overwhelming numbers had too long to operate. Not only that, but they had a pretty bird's eye view of the battlefield, right? He could have taken it upon himself to charge if we supposedly took too long, right? He knows what's happening. I'm sure the man can count. The greatest strategist in Dragon Age history doesn't know that it's been about time for him to flank. Yeah, I don't buy into that. I think there was external reasons he chose to leave the Wardens and Cailan to rot. I mean, he clearly hated the Wardens, and if you look into some of that stuff about Kaelin cheating on Honora and potentially marrying into the Orlesian Empire, you know? Loghain had a lot of motivations for Kaelin to die on that battlefield, despite whether he overextended or if his head was in the clouds or if he was too obsessed with legend or any of that. There are a lot of things you could say about Kaelin, right? Even if you start as the Kuzland origin, the friend of Baron Kuzland, I'm not remembering his name right now for some reason. It's Nathaniel, what is his second name? It's crazy that I can't remember that. I gotta think about that.
So, now that Cassandra's out of earshot, are you holding up all right? I mean, you go from being the most wanted criminal in Thedas to joining the armies of the faithful. Most people would have spread that out over more than one day.
You don't say.
I'm just glad I'm still standing after all that.
One foot in front of the other and all that.
You survived Cassandra. You're lucky you were out cold for most of her frothing rage. For days now, we've been staring at the breach, watching demons and maker knows what fall out of it. Bad for morale would be an understatement. I still can't believe anyone was in there and lived.
Well, Varric survived her wrath too, right? In all of Dragon Age 2. And it's All How, I just remembered. All How talked about King Kaelin and said, I think as much of King Kaelin as King Kaelin thinks it all, right? So, there's plenty of subjects in Ferelden that had their opinions of Kaelin and his wisdom as a commander, so... I'm just saying, Loghain, with Loghain, it's not as simple as he overextended and then the beacon didn't go off fast enough. He was a traitor. And then he also brought blood mages into Denerim to bleed out slaves for coin, etc., etc. And, you know, slaughtering the bannermen that wouldn't fall in line. He let Howe kidnap the Turn's son at the land's meet. There's a lot of stuff that was going on with Loghain. Not as simple as a battlefield. Actions before and after, too.
If it was that bad, why did you stay? Cassandra said you were free to go.
I like to think I'm as selfish and irresponsible as the next guy, but this... Thousands of people died on that mountain. I was almost one of them. And now there's a hole in the sky. Even I can't walk away and just leave that to sort itself out.
Have a hard time sleeping at night, right? You know you can do something about that.
It's pure luck that I escaped.
Good luck or bad? You might want to consider running at the first opportunity. I've written enough tragedies to recognize where this is going. Heroes are everywhere. I've seen that. But the hole in the sky... that's beyond heroes. We're going to need a miracle.
Varric the Goat. You might want to consider just bailing out first chance you get. Thanks for the pep talk.
Need something?
We can ask him about Hawk here. Let's see what he thinks about Red Lyrium after the whole thing with Bartrand.
The red lyrium we found at the temples seemed to upset you.
My brother Bartrand and I sort of discovered Red Lyrium during an expedition in the Deep Roads. We located an ancient Taig, so old it barely looked dwarven. There was this idol there made of it. Bartrand brought it back to the surface, and, well, everything's gone downhill from there.
Certainly made a mess in Kirkwall.
So what is it? Just another kind of lyrium?
The red stuff is lyrium like a dragon is a lizard. It's not just a different color. It has a whole host of weirdness all its own. I've written to every mining cast house in Orzammar. No one's seen this stuff before or knows where it came from.
I don't think it was there when we went through Haven as the warden, right? But then again, like they said, the explosion could have corrupted it and brought it to the surface. Whatever exploded, you would have needed power, right? Power. A lot of mage power comes from lyrium, so...
What makes it special?
Regular lyrium can mess you up pretty badly, but you have to ingest it for that to happen. Red lyrium messes with your mind when you're just near the stuff. You hear singing, get violent, paranoid, and then it does creepy shit. Makes things float, brings statues to life. It also turned Kirkwall's Knight Commander to lyrium. Everyone's been kept at least 100 paces from it since.
Most of what he just said is from Dragon Age 2's final boss encounter with Meredith.
How did the red lyrium get in the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
I don't know. So as far as I knew, the only piece to make it to the surface was destroyed. And the location of the Taig it came from is a secret. Did someone find more of it in the deep roads? That's not a cheery thought.
I think that's enough on Red Lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject.
And he avoided the sketchy parts of that conversation. Yeah, he tells about the
I've read
champion.
your tale of the champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
What are the tales you tell about us? We can ask about the Arashok fight.
There is no way Hawk really could have killed the Arashok. It would have started a war with the Qunari.
I was told later that the Qunari disavowed his actions. Apparently, the Arashok didn't get permission before he attacked Kirkwall, and the Qun didn't want another exalted march. When they finally sent a ship to haul the Red Dreadnought away, they just said, "We will never speak of this again." As far as I can tell, that's the Qun's version of an apology.
Yeah, sorry about the thousands of dead in the attempted annex, and whoopsie. Let's find out where Isabella and everybody else is at, Fenris.
Where are the rest of Hawk's associates now?
Merrill decided to look after the elves left homeless by the fighting. She's done a pretty good job of keeping them away from the mages and Templars, so far. I guess she has plenty of practice avoiding stupid human battles with her old Dalish clan. Fenris has kept himself busy, hunting down the Tevinter slavers who came south to prey on the refugees.
What a boy.
Not sure exactly where he is at the moment. You can usually follow the trail of corpses, though. Isabella went back to the raiders. She's calling herself an admiral now. I don't know if she's actually in charge or just has a really big hat. Might be the same thing, honestly. Sebastian went back to Starkhaven. I'm sure he's boring all sorts of people there. Hawk's little sister is in the Free Marches, helping some of the other survivors from the Kirkwall Circle.
Good to see she's
Adeline
doing
is
good.
still guard captain. I'm pretty sure Kirkwall would fall into the sea if she quit her job.
I think that's probably about right. And we do manage to catch up with Isabella and Veilguard, but we never really see Fenris again, or hear from him again. I think it would have been cool in this game if you kinda... sort of like an Avengers Assemble kind of moment. One of my favorite things about the tavern here, in this hub in Haven, is you have bards now in taverns, and bards that will just sing songs. It's such a cool thing. Some of them are bangers too, some of them are really good. Empress of Fire is so clean. I'll make sure to point that out if we run into that song. I guess we can chit-chat to Solas now too.
The chosen of Andraste, a blessed hero sent to save us all.
Guess we can try and live up to that.
I didn't ask for this, but someone has to find a way to seal this breach.
Spoken nobly indeed. You think I'm mocking you? This age has made people cynical. I've journeyed deep into the Fade in ancient ruins and battlefields to see the dreams of lost civilizations. I've watched as hosts of spirits clash to reenact the bloody past in ancient wars both famous and forgotten. Every great war has its heroes. I'm just curious what kind you'll be.
There's something interesting about games that give you little details to someone's character in replaying them. The way he said that, this age has made people cynical, it kind of sounds like he's from a different time, right? And then right after, he talks about visiting the past and this and that inside the Fade. But there's something there to the way he said that, and how he's kind of curious and just to spectate all of this, almost like he's above it all, or from somewhere else, right?
What do you mean ruins in battlefields?
Any building strong enough to withstand the rigors of time has a history. Every battlefield is steeped in death. Both attract spirits. They press against the veil, weakening the barrier between our worlds. When I dream in such places, I go deep into the Fade. I can find memories no other living being has ever seen.
You fall asleep in the middle of ancient ruins. Isn't that dangerous?
I do set wards. And if you leave food out for the giant spiders, they are usually content to live and let live.
That's all you. I'll keep that to you. I'll keep killing giant spiders when I cross them.
I've never heard of anyone going so far into the Fade. That's extraordinary.
Nobody that's
Thank
still
you.
alive.
It's not a common field of study for obvious reasons. Not so flashy as throwing fire or lightning. The thrill of finding remnants of a 1,000-year-old dream? I would not trade it for anything. I will stay there. At least until the breach has been closed.
Was that in doubt?
I am an apostate surrounded by Chantry forces in the middle of a mage rebellion. Cassandra has been accommodating, but you understand my caution.
Yeah, I don't think you require much more caution than me. I mean, I was almost hung, drawn, and quartered first day for being responsible for all this, so... I think Cassandra would likely offer you protection, given that you've been a help and are considered an ally.
Cassandra trusts you. She won't let anyone put you into a circle against your will.
Thank you. I appreciate the thought. But now let us hope either the mages or the Templars have the power to seal the breach.
What does he have around his neck? That's a jawbone, right? Looks like a jawbone. I think there's still teeth on it.
Closing the breach is our primary goal. But I hope we might also discover what was used to create it.
Yeah,
Any
I think that's a
artifact of such
jaw.
Power is dangerous.
The hinge right here
The
and then the
destruction of
teeth.
the conclave proves that much.
You don't think whatever created the explosion was destroyed in the blast?
You survived, did you not? The artifact that created the breach is unlike anything seen in this age. I will not believe it destroyed until I see the shattered fragments with my own eyes.
We would do well to try to recover whatever created the breach.
Liliana's people have scoured the area.
Not just to prevent her from opening more, right?
Whatever the artifact was, it is no longer there. In any case, did you need me for anything?
I want to know where you have been in the Fade.
What do you know about the Fade?
A great deal, from my wanderings. There are few hard facts, but I can share what I have learned.
Let's see what his take on all this stuff is.
I'd like to know more about the breach.
Simply put, it is a tear in the veil between this world and the Fade, allowing spirits to enter the world physically. Small tears occur naturally when magic weakens the veil, or when spirits cluster at an area that has seen many deaths. But your mark allows you to exert some control over the breach. That means it was created deliberately.
Wouldn't it be interesting to have brought forward, like Wynn, for example, Nathaniel Howe, all those old characters? They did it in Mass Effect and it worked wonderfully. Like, I understand we have a different protagonist, but the surrounding cast, we could have had everybody here. I do need to not dwell too much on what we could have had, though. What we got is still okay for this one.
I'd like to know more about the Veil.
Circle mages call it a barrier between this world and the Fade. But according to my studies in ancient elven lore, that is a vast oversimplification. Without it, imagine if spirits entered freely. The Fade was not a place one went, but a state of nature like the wind.
A state of nature like the wind. I mean, it does sound a little fantastical, right?
It sounds like it would be wonderful.
And dangerous. But yes, a world where imagination defines reality. Where spirits are as common as trees or grass. Instead, spirits are strange and fearful. And the Fade is a terrifying world touched only by mages and dreamers. I am glad that I'm not alone in seeing the beauty of such a world, along with the obvious peril.
Well, the problem with a lot of what he thinks is marvelous there is that if you were to exist in that reality, spirits can very easily become demons. Most of them are, in fact, shaped by the reflection of the people who find them. So, if a bad person finds them, it'll become a demon pretty quickly. They're in a constant state of being altered by the things they see and perceive.
I'd like to know more about demons.
The Chantry says that demons hate the natural world and seek to bring their chaos and destruction to the living. But such simplistic labels misconstrue their motivations, and in so doing, do all a great disservice. Spirits wish to join the living, and a demon is that wish gone wrong.
Is there a way to coexist? To live with them, if not in peace, at least without such active confrontation?
Not in the world we know today. The Veil creates a barrier that makes true understanding most unlikely. But the question is a good one, and it matters that you thought to ask.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
No, I can't ask him about any
What
of
can I do
his
for you?
journeys,
I'd like to know more
explorations.
about you, Solas.
Why?
Is there a particular reason we need to have a reason for that? Gonna be fine together.
Why not?
Privacy? Caution? Concern about the direction of this Inquisition once our work is done?
Then don't tell me. I wasn't asking as part of the Inquisition.
I am sorry. With so much fear in the air. What would you know of me?
Where have you studied? That's the meat and potatoes I wanted to get into.
You said you'd traveled to many different places.
This world, or its memory, is reflected in the Fade. Dream in ancient ruins, and you may see a city lost to history. Some of my fondest memories were found in crumbling cities, long picked dry by treasure seekers. The best of the battlefields. Spirits press so tightly on the veil that you can slip across with but a thought.
I wonder if you went to Ostagar, maybe we can get your take on Lurgain and the Wardens and all that.
Any place in particular?
I dreamt at Ostagar. I witnessed the brutality of the Darkspawn and the valor of the Ferelden warriors. I saw Alistair and the hero Ferelden light the signal fire, and Lurgain's infamous betrayal of Kaelin's forces.
What was your take on all that?
I've heard the stories. It would be interesting to hear what it was really like.
That's just it. In the Fade, I see reflections created by spirits who react to the emotions of the warriors. One moment, I see heroic wardens lighting the fire, and a power-mad villain sneering as he lets King Kaelin fall. The next, I see an army overwhelmed and a veteran commander refusing to let more soldiers die in a lost cause.
And you can't tell which is real.
It is the Fade. They are all real.
But I suppose it's all a reflection of the emotions of individuals in the Fade, right? So what's real to one person and real to another, which is how stories become so varied in the first place, with differences in perspectives.
What made you start
And
studying?
maybe someone who watches this disagrees with my perspective on Lurgain, right? Which you are welcome to argue with me in the comments. I would welcome the discussion, honestly. I'm definitely nerdy enough about Dragon Age lore to want to discuss it, so...
Glimpses of wonders I had never imagined. I treasured my dreams. Being awake, out of the Fade, became troublesome.
Did spirits try to tempt you?
No more than a brightly colored fruit is deliberately tempting you to eat it. I learned how to defend myself from more aggressive spirits, and how to interact safely with the rest. I learned how to control my dreams with full consciousness. There was so much I wanted to explore.
I gather you didn't spend your entire life dreaming.
No. Eventually, I was unable to find new areas in the Fade.
Why?
2 reasons. First, the Fade reflects the world around it. Unless I traveled, I would never find anything new. Second, the Fade reflects and is limited by our imaginations. To find interesting areas, one must be interesting.
You don't think you're interested?
Is this why you joined the Inquisition?
I joined the Inquisition because we were all in terrible danger. If our enemies destroyed the world, I would have nowhere to lay my head while dreaming of the Fade.
And no more interesting
Thank you.
conversations.
In truth, I've enjoyed experiencing more of life to find more of the Fade.
How so?
You train to flick a dagger or an arrow to its target. The grace with which you move is a pleasing side benefit. You have chosen a path whose steps you do not dislike because it leads to a destination you enjoy. As have I.
Have you always traveled and studied alone?
Not at all. I have built many lasting friendships. Spirits of wisdom, possessed of ancient knowledge, happy to share what they had seen. Spirits of purpose helped me search. Even wisps, curious and playful, would point out treasures I might have missed.
I don't know of any spirits by those names.
They rarely seek this world. When they do, their natures do not often survive exposure to the people they encounter. Wisdom and purpose are too easily twisted to pride and desire.
You're saying that you became friends with pride and desire demons?
They were not demons for me.
Meaning?
The Fade reflects the minds of the living. If you expect a spirit of wisdom to be a pride demon, it will adapt. And if your mind is free of corrupting influences, if you understand the nature of the spirit, they can be fast friends.
I imagine it's not that easy to make your mind completely free of corrupting influences.
I'm impressed that you could become friends with spirits.
Anyone who can dream has the potential. Few ever try. My friends comforted me in grief and shared my joy. Yet, because they exist without form, as we understand it, the Chantry declares that spirits are not truly people. Is Cassandra defined by her cheekbones and not her faith? Varric by his chest hair and not his wit?
The chest hair is pretty impressive. I think there is more to this question than needing a body to be real. So the answer here is yes, spirits are people, but it depends in which context he's talking about. Are we talking about somebody that passed and now their spirit is in the Fade? Because technically speaking, if you believe the chantry, then the spirits inside the Fade are not actually people, because they don't have imaginations or wants or needs. They're kind of like drones that will just reflect whatever they see. So technically no, but in spirit of the conversation, yes.
I hadn't thought about it that way, but I see your point.
Thank you. Few are willing to entertain such a notion.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
He asked a yes or no question in a very contextual conversation, but in general, I think yes, right? I don't think a person is defined by his body. It's more of an effort than that, I think. We upgrade any of these? Yes, we can. Increased healing. Definitely we'll take that. That'll be useful going forward. We don't have any of that stuff yet. Tonics, none of that. Grenades, none of that.
Secret.
Look who's back from the dead. Again. I don't recall meeting you before.
I'd be surprised if you did. You weren't particularly coherent. Someone had to patch you up after you staggered out of making knows where, though. So, you're welcome.
Well, thank you. What are your notes
Didn't
about me?
realize. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you can pay me back by fixing the world. Name's Adan. I'm in charge of keeping our little band here stocked with potions and elixirs. Not that Seeker Pentagast seems to care whether we've got the supplies to actually do that.
You missing some
For a
supplies.
healer, you don't seem particularly nurturing.
I'm not a healer. I'm an alchemist who's forced to play Mother Hen.
Big difference
You
there,
want
I
something
guess.
to burst into flame on contact with the air? Done.
I guess that's the
Like
difference between a
patching up
a
wounded
doctor and a
soldiers is
scientist,
wasting
right?
my time and talents.
A scientist wants answers and breakthroughs. A doctor wants to help people.
How are your people holding up?
There's no shortage of work. That's for damn sure.
Anything I can do?
Is there anything I can do to help out?
We're fine as far as raw labor goes. You've more important things to do than tend to me. I only wish I'd been able to find Master Taigen's notes. Old bastard was working on something special. He died at the conclave, and his notes weren't here. Been too busy dealing with the wounded to look for them.
I could look for him. Alright, so that's taken care of that. We got mixing potions completed. We did Threnn. I think at this point we've talked to everybody we needed to chat to up here, so now we can head out into the valley. We'll look for Taigen's notes. Talk to Harriet.
Did you be by? I'm Harriet, and everyone knows who you are. How's the new gear fit?
Sturdy and warm. It's perfect.
Good. World's gone mad. Stock armor and blades are good against bandits, but we're not fighting bandits. My gear will see you through demons, apostates, whatever this world throws at you. So, you need custom work, something special. You bring the materials to us, we'll make it happen.
Ho ho ho, Harren.
Can you help improve my arms and armor?
Yes. You find a new piece, a pauldron or greaves, we'll take care of you. You can't just slap a new hilt on your sword in the field. Bring it here, we'll make sure it's done right and proper.
If I want something, what can you make?
Start simple. Something to keep you safe. Take a look at it on the table there and we can talk. You'll need materials. We should have what you want just outside.
How'd you end up
How did
here?
you come to be here?
And where are you from, I wonder?
A little town called Lothering. Long gone now.
You're from
I was in
Lothering.
Redcliffe when the Darkspawn hit it during the Blight. Helped rebuild.
Good man.
Left when royalty decided it was time to hand the place over to the bloody mages. Ended up here. Just missed the boom. Can't decide if I'm the luckiest son of a bitch walking or the exact opposite.
You're still walking. That's always good.
True enough.
Scout code arms. There's my level 4. Beautiful. Goodies there. Alright, what was the quest that he wanted me to do? Let's take a look at that. Haven. The right armor. Have some armor made. Modify some armor. Find Taigen's notes and fill the requisition. Which we have the iron already, we just need a login stand. So, first things first. We need to make the thing. Which I imagine would be scout coat. What is like my cheapest option here? 1 cunning, 2 critical damage, range defense, critical chance with some dexterity. I'll use the Nug skin, and then we'll split it out between them. Fine, you can name your crafted gear too, by the way, which is awesome.
Looks fine.
Now we can modify it. Go down into this. In the arms category, now we can put scout code arms on it. That'll give us some extra attributes on the thing. Piece by piece, it's all build up. But I think if we go here now, that should be done. Indeed. So now we just need Taigen's notes and the login stand. When we come over here, this will be where the Inquisition is training everyone up. I think it might be more time efficient if I quickly run around and gather the things we need. So what I'll do is I'll edit the video up, and when I find the login stand and Taigen's notes, then I'll get back to you, because we do need to come here to speak to Cassandra. And there's some Templars and things around here that I want to chat to as well. Alrighty, I believe, if my memory serves me correct, Taigen's notes are actually in this little cabin, which is just up the hill and around this little corner from where I was telling you guys I'd split it to. That would be his notes. Any other goodies in here? There is not. There are goodies outside. And then right outside behind this cabin is the login stand, I think. This do look like a login stand. Claimed for the Inquisition. Now we can fill the requisition just to show you guys the path that we took. Came out of Haven right here, swung up right past the training camp, through the cabin, past the gate, and then the login stand is right here. I'll probably circle around here, just check for loots and stuff, but I will likely cut that out and meet you guys back here when we're talking to other people. Alrighty, I did a decent little round of this place. A couple more loot boxes. It seems like we can't talk to the last 2 lieutenants until we go into the Chantry, so I'll do that for next episode.
What does that even mean anymore? That we splinter and fight amongst ourselves instead of protecting the mages?
Better that than stay here with this Inquisition.
You're awfully quick to dismiss the people who saved your life, Matrin. Yes?
We got a Templar here.
I'd like your take on the Templar Order.
It's a shadow of what it was. Where once
Cool
we both
looking
protected
armor.
all people from the dangers of magic, we now posture and grab at power. One day, I hope the circles are again sanctuaries where mages can practice their craft.
And you see, not all Templars see it the same way. You can talk about Templar abuse, but nobody really talks about these kinds of Templars. No, armor actually looks a lot like Knight Commander Meredith's, just a different, like an Orlesian breastplate instead of the Templar one.
You're not going to rejoin the Order?
When the temple went up, your forces rescued those few of us still alive. My life is a debt I intend to repay, however I can.
You're definitely welcome.
Do you have any idea what caused the explosion?
No, I'm just a recruit. Belief and faith doesn't get you closer to the important meetings. Though that
that's the truth.
did save my life.
I will talk to you later.
Walk in the Maker's grace.
Loyalty and service doesn't get you into the position of putting on airs. So, go fill this. Go to the Inquisition. Reward is +1 power. Okay, so we level up our Inquisition forces by doing those. Yeah, that ups our influence, okay.
Nice work with those supplies. The smiths can use them to fit our troops with better gear. Might not affect you much, but our recruits will have better chances next time some monster flies out of a rift.
Yeah, that's a nice little interesting side mechanic, leveling up your power and your influence like that. And I think every time you do level that up, if I recall, I think you get Inquisition points, which you can spend for perks that do affect us very much, unlike swords right there,
You're back. And in one piece.
with a gift.
You said you thought Master Taigen was working on something special. If it helps, I found his notes.
The old codger was on the edge of a breakthrough here, but he couldn't see it. You want some of these mixed up? You just give the word.
Everybody benefits.
Farewell.
We got lyrium potions. How would I do that? That would be in this, maybe? Yes, it would. I have all the elf fruit. I just don't have the stocks for it. Replenish this with elf fruit. Okay. Makes sense. That's why you gotta pick up a lot of herbs. Alright, now I gotta definitely have to do some editing magic to get this down to the 35 to 45 minute mark that everybody seems to appreciate more. So definitely gonna split this one on up here in the next episode. We should be able to go in here, yip yap to the last couple people we haven't yip yap to, and then we can get our show on the road, and we'll probably be going to the hinterlands. So, as always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and a comment on your way out, share it around if you know anybody who likes this kind of content. It all helps the channel grow, and I will see you soon with more Dragon Age Inquisition. Take care, everybody. Have a good day.